Welcome to the mindless musings of friends while two of us play Stardew Valley.
Okay, it has started. Okay,
Phil, you were
go
saying?
ahead, Phil.
Alright, okay. What about that logic is, flawed?
Everything.
Everything. No,
Yeah,
it's...
how about an example there, Joe?
What?
Yeah, throw yourself
Okay,
under the bus so
right,
we don't have to
let's-
do it.
I'm
Joe, boobs or butts, and explain your reasoning.
neither.
Neither.
Yeah, this guy's a thigh guy.
Yes, I like legs.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
I
no,
can
you-
believe
you-
that from Mr. Runner.
Hey, you're the freak, aren't you? I forgot of us. You like feet, don't you?
No,
Okay, now I got ZZ Top in my head.
legs are not feet, buddy.
You're
well,
like that.
legs go to feet.
You're
They're
like that
attached.
disgusting troll
Joe
under the
does
bridge.
strike me as a bit of a foot guy. He is that kind of weird.
Again, legs
okay.
are not feet.
Can I be honest with you? I look at people who like feet as like flat earthers. I'm like, I don't get it.
What?
I
I
think
don't
90%
get
of people do. It's fucking weird. Feet are gross, man.
They're often rather unpleasantly odored, and I think they kind of look weird, don't they?
Like, I look at my feet in the shower and I'm like, but why though? Thinking. I just don't get it.
I don't think you're supposed to be masturbating to your own feet. I think it's supposed to be to other people's.
Okay, Carol. Okay, I don't know. Has there ever been a have you ever known women to do it? Like, it's mostly a guy thing, but have you ever known women to be like into guys' feet?
I haven't really talked to many women about such things.
Get out there, go.
I don't think I've talked to any women about such things.
We
I
need,
don't
we
think
need
I've
crowdsourcing.
ever heard of a woman with a foot fetish.
I've never heard of a woman with a foot fetish. As a matter of fact, almost all fetishes, so far as visual fetishes like that I've heard of, are all men. Usually, when women have fetishes, in my circle of friends, at least, people with whom I have spoken, it tends to be a more physical, touch-related thing that they're interested in.
So sensuality, essentially.
Yeah, it's very tactile, where men tend to be very visual.
It's kind of like the whole rope and bondage thing.
Okay, I'll build. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's probably right. Like, I can get behind the old men argument thing. Like, we'll basically just anything. Like, you name it, we've done it. At this point. Like, you want to see two guys with an alligator? Money play. You know what I mean? Like, it's been done.
We will be watching Money Played in the near future, by the way.
But Joe,
yeah.
we've got to get through my night next.
You know what I would actually pay money to see is Florida man trying to have sex with an alligator snapping turtle.
Why?
No, that's the Darwin Awards 2021. Don't do that.
Exactly.
Like, okay, do you remember that Florida man thing that I was telling you about the other night, where like the guy basically faked his own death for 20 years to find out he was never wanted by the cops in the first place, only to find out that he got arrested by the cops because faking your own death is now illegal. Stupid idiot. Oh my god.
You should at least check and see if,
What, that's real?
there's anything out there for you. If there's any kind of warrants or anything before faking your death to avoid warrants that don't exist.
Like, right?
I mean, that was a special kind of stupid.
To be fair, I take most of the Florida man jokes with a grain of salt. As dumb as they are, I don't know if even half of them are real.
Buddy,
No,
so-
these are news articles, sweetheart.
Buddy, they're
Yeah.
all real and they're all monkey news as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
We're talking about real arrest records.
If you say so, I don't know. Some of the Florida man things just seem too out there for me.
You really have no idea how stupid the average person is.
He should, of all people.
Yeah, of all people. Of all of us in this group, you should be well aware of how stupid people are.
How many Florida man does it take to change a liable? But doesn't matter, he was arrested for something else anyway. Oh man, that's the only way they get exposed, isn't it? They always get arrested for some obscene crime, and the cop is like, "I cannot believe he did this." Every time. Beautiful. Anyway, going back to our show, okay? 2 references our buddy made there, Gakuto, right?
Oh god.
Okay, he mentioned Yoshihiro Shimazu, okay? That guy's awesome. That guy really was awesome, by the way. Like, he's absolutely correct in like saying that guy's tactic was great. Because
Shut up,
because the Battle of Sekigahara, by the way, was like all out Eastern victory against the West. Because they had some guy from the West basically like lead everybody to a canyon where they basically shot him with cannons anyway. So the Eastern side, the guys who made the Shogunate Kirin, basically cheated to win.
And then there's Janwei. Janwei, is it? Or
Yes,
Janwei?
Jiang Wei mentioned in the OVA. Okay, Jiang Wei sucked.
Hey, I like playing him in Dynasty Warrior 3 and 4.
Jiang Wei absolutely sucked because he basically wasted 30 years of his life doing nothing. Okay, the only territory Shu ever took off Wei during Romance of the Three Kingdoms, so the Three Kingdom period, right, was basically the victory that got them Fan Castle in the center of the whole like 3-sectional thing anyway in China, and that was the only victory Shu ever got in like 50 something years. And Jiang Wei replacing Zhuge Liang could not make any headway whatsoever. He was basically a failure of a strategist. He was terrible. And
Why
even
did he-
then,
Wait, why do
then,
you have to take Zhuge Liang's place? Did he die?
'cause the guy was like 75 and he retired.
Yeah, but there's Pang Tan.
Okay, you gotta understand, Zhuge Liang, not an amazing strategist. Okay, his strategies, majority of the time, were just retreat, get away. Like, let's not make a stupid mistake where we get millions of people killed. Let's conserve our forces and retreat every time. And on top of it, the guy was a tyrant and took over his own country, his own state's history books, because he was the guy who wrote them. So when you're the guy in charge of the country and saying how this happened in history by writing the history books, it seems a bit tyrannical, don't you think? And
A
guess
little
what?
bit.
Guess what? He lied about a lot of things.
No.
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 So yeah,
Do
Jiang Wei
you
sucks.
mean that the ruler who took that position violently, who is the only person in charge of, had full control over how the history books were written
Ah,
and manipulated them to
It's worse than that.
to say what he wanted? No, that would never happen.
It's worse than that because he was given the position by inheritance from the guy who actually did take the country by force, like that section of the country at least, right? And it's even worse because the section of the country that he took by force was run by his own family. So Liu Bei basically committed fratricide in order to take land for himself and establish Shu. And yet he's depicted as a hero in like everything.
you know, for a book titled Romance of the Three Kingdoms, there doesn't
Not a
seem
lot
to
of
be a whole lot of
romance.
romance.
Yeah, there ain't a lot of romance in it.
That's my Carl question for the night.
Like in that show, they mentioned the cherry tree promise between the 3 men, and they become brothers from that drinking the tea together in the cherry tree garden. Okay,
Is
So
that
though-
Liu Bei and his
that was
brothers?
Liu Bei, Zhang Fei, and Guan Yu. Okay, Guan Yu and Zhang Fei were psychopathic monsters. Zhang Fei, an infamous drunk who gets killed by his own men in his sleep simply because he bullied them too much. Okay, and Guan Yu was a bloated egotist who got his ass kicked for a good reason. He was immensely arrogant. Screw those people. Awful people.
So back to our very recent viewing experience. What were you saying about your preferences?
Oh, booty any day. Are you serious? There's
For
a
the
million
evolutionary reason, or
evolutionary, realistic, personal preference, everything.
yet you drink for the boobs?
No, I am made to drink for the front. Okay? If by choosing I could sip for the drip on the other end, then yeah, easily. But
Nobody's holding you down and forcing liquor down your throat, Bill.
yeah, but the ass doesn't get the nipple, I'm afraid. Just as a Medusa, apparently.
You can drink when you see ass. No one is stopping you from that.
That's quite a common thing, and Kieran's going to be hounding me the entire time. Hey, look, there's an asterisk, you idiot.
And when you see a nip, you still take a sip.
Exactly. Nips for sips. I regret my life.
Yeah, nips for sips, entire glasses for asses.
What?
You heard me.
Oh.
This isn't fun. You should get Joe doing something. But then again, he's streaming first, so.
Yeah, I should send Joe some of that fudge or something. Eating any of that yet?
You know he can't.
I know.
You know Joe can't eat anything with flavor.
Oh, Karen, I've mysteriously got a throat.
Mm.
Get me out of anything.
No.
Streaming
for
Resident
really
Evil 8.
bad.
I don't even know when Carol's going to be like doing the whole surgery thing with the doggy. So I don't know when I'm going to be streaming that.
On Monday, he's getting his surgery, and you can start streaming.
Right. Okay, so next Monday, not this Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, the first few hours of the game are boring.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're playing this right now, so.
Yeah. It's
Don't
very
spoil anything.
boring. It's very boring at the beginning. I'm just gonna
Your
throw that out.
okay.
It's very
Your
boring.
hesitation. Yeah, I don't mind boredom. I can like work through that. But your hesitation to say anything is like pretty indicative of spoilers, right there, bud.
It doesn't become a real game until you reach a certain point, and you'll know exactly what that point is.
Where things go to crap, like
Holding
every
back
Resident
those
Evil.
spoilers so hard you can hear it.
Like everything before that is just no. I don't care. I don't care. Just bring on the supernatural crap.
I forget how 7 even begins now. I completely forgot. I in my mind somewhere, the memory of playing the demo overstays the beginning of the 7 start.
7 had the superior opening. I played it as recently as just this past October.
Okay, 7 doesn't 7 begin with Ethan getting out of a jeep and going to like the estate, the Baker mansion and everything?
Yeah, exactly.
Seems kind of like a placid like beginning in comparison to the TV crew in the demo, which was like way better in my opinion.
The TV crew's in the game. Ethan watches videotapes throughout that game. One of them is the TV crew.
I forget so much of 7 now. It's been a while. It's been like what 3-4 years. 7 was 17. Yeah.
7 had some good bits. Like I like the chainsaw fight, even though it's right out of Evil Dead. Even says groovy for crying out loud. The bug lady fight was good.
Oh,
Not
I hated
great.
that thing with
Not
Marguerite.
great.
Yeah.
But good. I didn't like the other guy. The
Oh, the dad,
no, that was the chainsaw fight. That was fun.
Jack Lucas.
That's his name, Lucas?
I
Or
think it's
Jack?
Lucas. Yeah, but you only fight Lucas in the Chris Redfield DLC.
Who's the one you fight that turns into the weird long neck monster?
Maybe Jack.
I didn't like that fight.
Hey, okay, Jack was the welcome to the family son.
Okay, I like him. I liked the teenage son. I did not like.
Yeah, Lucas sucked.
I like the trap he set up. That was fun. The whole escape room segment. But actually fighting him sucked.
Should have played the poker game. It's more of the same.
Yeah, I didn't like much of the Chris Redfield DLC either. You know, the Not a Hero DLC where you just basically wander around tunnels in like mist and the
No.
gas mask on. It's not great. Like the environment design is just annoying.
I agree. It was not a good DLC. The Joe Baker one was much better. No more Zoe.
Oh god, yeah, easily.
And I hate melee combat, and I love that.
Yeah, you've been through a strange year when it came to games. Like, you played Resident Evil 7, and you were expecting guns, and the most entertaining thing out of it was a guy with fists, okay, in first-person perspective. You played Bloodborne thinking you were not going to like it, and you ended up liking the giant sword, which you say you never play normally with.
Partially,
No, you're not used to being guts, are you? I mean, from Berserk.
partially because of lockdown last year, I played more video games in 1 year than I've probably played ever in my life before.
And we played all three Dark Souls.
Yep.
Out of order, but we played them.
I'm trying to remember every game I played last year. All right, this was before COVID, but I did play Berseria around January or February, just because I felt like replaying it because I really liked that game. Then COVID struck, and we were halfway through Bloodborne. We eventually completed Bloodborne around April. I also played P5 Royal during that time. I also played FF7 during that time. God of War. All three Dark Souls games. Any Borderlands DLC that happened to come out during that time. I think the cowboy one and the what was the last one? The Krieg one?
Oh god, the Foster Clock.
I think. Did the other one come out during lockdown? The Love and Guns? No, the Love and Tentacles. But you know what? We still played it that year, so I'm gonna add that there.
Yeah, we did kind of do a lot of DLC over course at the beginning of the year. We just kept going back to Borderlands 3 every now and then. There was something new out.
Then I played God of War. Then I played Resident Evil 7. And then at the end of the year, I played the game I was looking forward to the most in the past 3 years.
Good old.
Yes, good old Cyberpunk.
I told you it was gonna be crap. Should have listened to me.
Now, out of all those amazing games I played, only one of them I got a refund for. Can you guess which game that is?
Was it... Basically, anything we gave as a gift, he's like... couldn't refund it. Oh, it's a shame as well. You reckon they'll fix it at some point?
I don't know, but the game is a complete mess. Like, I've never seen a company so blatantly lie about their product to this extent before. Like, they were advertising that Maelstrom mission where there's, like, I don't know, 5 different ways you can do it. Like, this was going to be the standard for the game. Like, look, you could refuse to give them the money. Then this amazing scenario happens. Or you can side with the gang and fight the corporation. Look at this amazing outcome. It's the only time that ever happens in the entire game.
The 3 openers are basically just 15-minute scenes.
Yeah, I know.
Don't make any difference on the entire story.
The game basically has no villain. The game barely has a plot.
Wait, the game has no villain?
No.
What about the guy who's in charge of Arasaka?
You never see him again.
Oh, Jesus.
Except for Run story route, and even in that story route, he barely plays any part.
Okay, wait. I was led to believe that Keanu Reeves' character is kind of like a really self-destructive anarchist in that, where he thinks he's great, but he just keeps screwing up every time, right?
Yeah, kind of.
What is he rebelling against?
I don't even think he knows.
So
Corporations are bad, man. Gotta fight the power because corporations are bad.
Because like, even Gundam Wing got this right. If you're gonna have an antagonist who's gonna be bad, and you're gonna have characters who are basically the whole agenda is like, hey, bad man, bad. You gotta display it. You gotta show your antagonism.
Phil, I've heard people defending this game using the weak excuse, but no, Night City was the real antagonist of the entire game.
Dude, it's just an environment.
Like,
really?
Really?
You could say that about Pandora, but there's pretty much characters in that.
Play Dark Souls and experience Sen's Fortress.
Yes.
Now that's an antagonist.
Okay, that's a
Yeah.
great idea. Okay, Dark Souls is like a brilliant way of saying like there's no villain of each one. It's just a crappy situation to actually illustrate how bad the situation is. And that's the villain.
You're the villain. Isn't that how these games tend to end?
Not really.
If you choose to be, but
It's mostly Armored Core games, really, but
That's how 3 ended. Not counting the DLC.
Guy's got a point. What did we do in 3? Like, think about it. 3 is like we set ourselves on fire at the very end of it. Keep, hope going a little bit. But then the DLC is just like, okay, you want to go in the painting, burn it. Okay, you want to go to the ends of the earth and find the ring city, like Gwyn's final secret. You kill the last dragon. You kill his last child. You basically, and it's not even in self-defense. It's just because you went there,
No, but burn it though.
Yeah, but
So basically, keep the guy dreaming forever.
keep Filino dreaming. Leave Gale to go find the Dark Soul and eat some people, I guess, so he can paint his damn picture.
They couldn't hold back. They had to do the name drop at the end.
Yeah, give me your Dark
Once
Soul. Wink.
in an entire series, in the final boss of the final DLC.
Of the final game.
You
Considerably better than so many games who do that pretty frequently or right at the fucking beginning.
You really think this will be the final Dark Souls game, though? It's such a popular IP. I'm sure they'll make a
Well,
fourth
they
one.
were planning on not doing anymore. And so far, since 3, because 3 has been out a while, they've moved off onto other projects. We've not heard anything of a Dark Souls 4 yet.
The one they can't get out, I'm afraid.
Well, they gotta get Elden Rings out first, and
Like,
we all know who's
years ago.
delaying that game.
Like, I anticipate, I look forward to the day I'm able to play Elden Ring with you guys, like, 4-player, okay? But even still, when is it freaking coming
When
out?
was 3 released? I'm pretty sure it was like 15 or 16 or something.
No. So
No,
get this.
17, right?
Yes, Dark Souls 3 was 17.
I didn't-
Bloodborne was March of 2015. I got the PS4
Okay.
on
Yes,
that
yes.
year for that.
That game came out around the same time the PS4
Still,
came
it's
out.
been like 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay, they gotta get Elden Rings out first. Let's be clear about that. And I'm still wouldn't be shocked if Dark Souls 4 happened. I mean, another Witcher game's happening, and The Witcher 3 came out in 2014.
So we discussed this on like a thing last year after the end of like when we finished DS2, but like there is actual concept leak stuff for DS4 out there, and it's like 2 enemy designs that look ashen and like really revolting and disgusting to look at, which only says to me like they're abandoning this Age of Fire and Age of Dark thing. They're just doing what oh god, what was the Lord of the Cinder from the 3rd game? Aldrich. They were just doing what Aldrich prophesized, which was the Age of the Deep, which was like mankind's sins is just so much that it's just all this ashen, horrific like mess.
You notice
I'm
how
just
in
saying, it might not necessarily be Dark Souls 4. They might be moving on to making a series out of some of their other spin-offs.
True.
Like Sekiro 2, Bloodborne 2.
Cool.
Heck, they could always turn Elden Ring into a fucking series once it gets started.
I think I think the implication is they're totally doing that with Elden Ring, by the way.
Yeah.
Like I would not be shocked in the slightest if this is more than one game.
you notice how they do the name drop in the trailer for that one. You have it. You
game's
have
not
the
even-
Elden Ring.
Game's not even out for like 3 years, and they name dropped it in like the first few seconds.
Yeah, but that's because George R.R. Martin's involved and he's a fucking hack. So,
Okay, but not every single product title has to name drop the product title in like, to be smart. I mean, you could do it like countlessly. When has Star Wars ever said Star Wars?
I'm just saying, I give things that do it right at the very end of their fucking series a break.
Like Star Trek waited 30 plus 40 years before Zephram Cochrane said it. Okay, did you think of that like I did? Like they waited 40 something years to get to First Contact in like 97 before James Cromwell said like Star Trek in the
Wait,
down
you
the
guys were on some Star Trek?
roll credits. Roll franchise.
See, they didn't name drop the Wrath of Khan in that movie. They just showed us Khan's wrath throughout that movie.
Like, it's 10 minutes into Gremlins before they say Gremlins. You know, it doesn't mean your movie's smart or dumb. It's
No,
just a name drop.
It was Dick Miller. Like Dick Miller, I think, in one of his earlier scenes talks about gremlins, and then he sees them when they apparently kill him in the movie, and I don't know, he like seems almost giddy that he's right. Like, I knew gremlins were real, I knew. And then in the sequel, he's somehow alive. Like, it's the weirdest thing ever.
Because the mischievous creatures, they're not killers.
But it's like
Oh, they killed him, yeah, I know, but
it's like they killed Dick Miller in the first movie, and then they regretted killing Dick Miller, so they brought him back for the sequel.
oh god, since when in prison school did they ever mention prison school? Like, that exact thing. That terminology.
I mean, they said the words prison and they said the word school. I don't think they ever said them together.
Like, we didn't get
Oh,
Kyoshi in, like, the
that's
first episode, just, like, looking at the screen and saying, like, this is some kind of prison school, and, like, winking at the camera.
For
Yeah,
Steins
that would have been
Gate,
kind of creepy.
that's what
Yeah, but it
Okabe.
also would have been par for their fucking show, so.
For Steins Gate, that's what Okabe named the ideal timeline where neither Karasu nor Miuri dies, right?
It's okay. He calls Steins Gate repeatedly as if like it's some kind of judgment, decision making from some prophesized kind of like formula, and he delusionally thinks it inside his mind is like something he refers to every now and then to receive on high judgment. Like none of the stuff he talks about, El Saikon Gru, all
No.
like Shining Finger, all these like daft terminologies and like references from like a 90s anime and late 80s anime. Like none of them make any sense. You don't relate to anything.
No, he even mentions that when he's talking to himself at the end. I'm sure you know the significance of the name. I just granted your mission. There is none.
There is none.
There is none.
It's the most important mission in the history of mankind. Seriously, how messed up would a world be if time travel does exist? And it belonged to one singular country.
Oh, you want to see that? Well, you watch Steins Gate Zero. It is the most depressing and dumbest anime ever.
Like, don't create time travel, folks. And if you do, keep it to yourself and just, keep it that way.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this. Phil probably does. They actually made a sequel/prequel to Steins Gate about the Okabe who sends that message back in time to help himself, and it's basically the worst anime I've ever seen, or pretty up there, because right off the bat, this is a doomed timeline, so why are you watching this? B, exactly how this is going to end.
Year of Hell.
That's
why I'm watching it.
You don't know how Year of Hell is going to end.
True, but
now, but
true, but like, okay, Year of Hell is like the greatest idea for a filler idea ever, because it's just things going to crap, and then you get told at the end of it, none of it mattered. Don't worry, day was saved.
It was literally supposed to be a Year of Hell in the original script for season 4 or 5.
They couldn't support it. The ship being falling like to pieces and everything because of Kren and weaponry.
Battlestar Galactica did it. Like, I don't even like the remake of Battlestar Galactica, but I loved how that ship got just torn to hell by the end.
It's mostly held together, that show, by strong performances and pretty decent script writing.
Oh, yeah. The actors on that show were amazing.
Like, I often thought like, just like, they have no budget whatsoever. Like, how come they're showing no space fights? We usually go like 20-something minutes in the original show before, the fighters take off and shoot Cylons or something.
I'll tell you, though, their Cylons did look very scary.
CGI monsters, don't worry about it. Freaking Species 8472 look cooler than that.
You prefer the toasters from the original?
Yeah. At least they're physical and you could touch them.
At least they're physical and you can touch them.
They
They're a
didn't
guy in a suit!
This is the replicator thing from Stargate all over again. No, I don't fear it. It's a little Meccano toy. Like, you could show me a billion of those things, like a tidal wave of replicators. I don't give a crap. I don't fear it. It's a big CGI effect. Whereas if you show me something that's like actually interacting with characters and like ripping them to bits, like Species 8472, it's cool. It's actually really interesting.
CGI too, buddy.
Yeah, but you actually see like when it does to Harry Kim, he's like rotting from the inside out with that like the germs inside his body.
He gets better in like 20 minutes.
Like his face is exploding with like green goo and everything. That's cool. That's good. Will John Hurt's chest explode from
Yo, that's
worst-
cool.
Not again. Yeah, why would you have pasta in deep space? That was his first mistake. He had a pot noodle. Of course he's gonna convulse.
I thought he had the soup. Or no, he
Nah.
had the special.
Yeah, he claims he had the special, but he had a pasta meal. He gave him a bunch of spaghetti.
Yeah, it was spaghetti. I remember that.
Yeah, never give a pot noodle to a guy in space. That's what happens.
Poor John Hurt.
If you're eating a pot noodle, you're getting what you deserve.
Wow, that's pretty harsh.
I mean, it's true.
Has John Hurt ever survived the movie?
Oh boy, no.
I can think of movies
Pretty
that
sure
Sean.
he is.
I can think of things that Sean Bean and Steve Buscemi survived.
Oh,
I can even think of the occasional Danny Trejo movie. I can't think of anything for John Hurt.
Let's put it this way: if Sean Bean can survive Silent Hill, then anything's possible.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Imagine watching the mouse get into the mousetrap and you'd be getting blue balls. Like, that's Sean Bean going into stuff like that.
Or as honest chiller guy put for Jupiter Ascendant. Wait, this movie failed to kill Sean Bean? How's that even possible?
It's like okay, it's like luring Danny Trejo into Jurassic Park, and you're like, any second, no, wait, what? The movie ended? No.
All right. On a similar note with that. All right, Samuel L. Jackson's career like really took off shortly after Jurassic Park with Pulp Fiction, right?
Early 90s, definitely.
Had Pulp Fiction come out before Jurassic Park, would Samuel L. Jackson have been in more of that movie?
You gotta remember, Jurassic Park is like based on a book.
A book that's heavily altered. Like,
Okay, but does his character survive long in that book?
I don't know because I've never read the book. I only know bits and pieces of the book. I know the John Hammond character, for example, is a completely different person in the book, and he actually dies in the book. I know Malcolm also dies in the book. They bring him back for the sequel somehow, but if you're just going by the logic of the first book, the T-Rex kills him.
Okay, let's read this thing. I mean, it's probably got like the synopsis here at some point. Original one from Jurassic Park in 1990. All right, what was his character called?
Mr. Arnold?
You're right, yeah, John Arnold. Okay, the park's intelligent and aggressive velociraptors escape their enclosure and kill John Arnold and Dr. Wu. So Wu doesn't even get out of the original book.
Who's the guy they made the main villain of the Jurassic World series?
Oh, because he's one of the original cast members from the first one. Somehow.
He's in it like for what? A minute?
Well, he's there to discredit Grant, even though Grant's right. That's the whole point. Like he's the guy who has the pen and paper and looks at him like, you don't know, Jack. Hey, you're saying that an asexual species can totally breed when it's one gender? He's that guy.
I remember Wu only having one or two lines.